Hello and welcome to another exciting video. And today we'll be learning about a new CSS property called clamp in CSS. So here we have a mockup, a standard dashboard type of layout with a header bar, a sidebar, and a content area. Now, as you can see over here, there are two article elements here, but when you are viewing it in the HTML, we are missing an important property to distinguish them, which is margin. Now, a popular way to add spacing into layouts is with a rigid grid. As an example, one type of layout grid is the 8 pixel grid. So let's go ahead and create a custom CSS property called unit and set it to 0.5 rem, which under default browser circumstances equates to 8 pixels, but with the advantage of responding to any user settings for their font size. After this, on our article tag, we'll add a rule for margin using the calc function. So here let's create CSS for article. So on our article, we have added a rule for margin using the calc function. We can set 2 times and then bring in our var unit. In other words, 2 into 0.5 rem. That's going to equate to 16 pixels of margin around our articles. Now, the issue with this method is that regardless of viewport size, the spacing will always be 16 pixels. For users on large desktops or even televisions, it may be beneficial to provide a bit more spacing around content elements. So we can reset this by commenting it, and we can use a modern CSS property called clamp. Now, clamp is a function that intakes a minimum allowed value, a preferred value, and a max value. In our case, we can copy what we did before, essentially setting 16 pixel as the minimum allowed value, and then we will bring in viewport units. So we'll be first of all writing margin, and then we'll be making use of the clamp function. So here, let's understand that we have three things: min, max, and before that we have preferred size. So these three things we need to provide to the clamp function. And here we are saying that for min, we'll be considering the same value what we have specified over here. So we'll say clamp, and inside this, the min value will be copying this over here and we'll be pasting it over here. Next thing that we need to provide is the preferred size. Now, preferred size over here will be taking 5 view width, and then we'll be providing the max size. Now, max size again will make use of the same method, calc over here, and instead of 2, we'll be providing 5 over here, and then we'll be closing the clamp method over here. So in this case, we are adding 5 view width as the preferred value, and then once more, we are making use of the calc function to multiply our unit times 5, making our max allowed value to 40 pixels. So now that I've saved it, if I resize this, you can see that margin adjusting based on where it falls within that range. On the smallest viewport, the calculated margin is no less than 16 pixel, and it is allowed to grow up to 40 pixels. As of now, we are using the same value for all sides, but we can take advantage of viewport units even further by updating our top and bottom value to use view height. So here we'll be changing, instead of view width, we will be having view height. Now we'll be just copying this piece and we'll be pasting over here, and instead of 2 we'll have 4 over here and 8 over here, and then we'll say view width. So we have updated our minimum value to be our unit times 4 and our max to be our unit times 8. On save, you saw just a little increase in the allowed visual width. If we use the device toolbar over here, if I go ahead and press F12, you can also see how the height affects the vertical space between our articles. So if I just take this up a bit, you'll be noticing that change. So in this lesson, we learned how to use the modern CSS function called clamp to set a minimum, a preferred, and a maximum value in conjunction with viewport units like view height and view width. We enabled a layout that is able to fluidly take advantage of the viewport size currently in use.